everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. I'm Debbie Giordano, your host, along with Todd Flesner. Hello.
Hey, Deb, how you doing today?
Hey, really, really good. We air our show on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on Channel 26, local cable TV, Milpitas. How about that?
Hey, I'm glad folks join us and tune in and see what's going on around town.
And who will pop up out of the woodwork and come in and guest on our show. So, Todd, who have you got for us today?
Well, Boy Scouts of America. Folks know Boy Scouts. They've been around for over 100 years.
I had brothers in Boy Scouts, my older brothers. So.
Yeah, I was in Boy Scouts as a kid, too.
Whoa.
I'm not going to go into that right now because we have a guest here who's going to talk to us about what does Boy Scouts of America do today and what specifically are the Scouts up to here in Milpitas.
Great.
So we'd like to welcome Patrick Wilson. Patrick's involved locally with our scouting organization. So it's great to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to share with us today.
Sure.
I really appreciate it.
So,
I
good.
enjoy it.
Well, good. So yeah, I know you are passionate about what Scouts do and have been doing over the ages. But tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. How did you get involved in scouting?
I got involved in scouting. I came to Milpitas in 1973. I joined Boy Scout Troop 92 in 1976. And I've been a part of Troop 92 ever since. So 36 years with Troop 92. My patrol leader when I joined is the current Scoutmaster. So he's been my best friend for 36 years. And
Incredible.
So that's my scouting experience.
That is amazing.
So you got involved as a youth then?
I got involved as a youth. It did a lot of good for me. It did a lot of good for my brother who was on the wrong track.
Mm-hmm.
He was involved in scouting. He got involved in rock collecting, and he's now a jeweler.
Uh-huh.
And so something from scouting got him on the right track.
Oh,
found his interest. So I know that scouting does that for people.
Yeah, good. Well, so maybe tell us a little bit, how is scouting from the day that you joined to today, similar? And then maybe what are some things that are different about scouting today?
It's interesting because scouting when I joined was more skills-oriented, knot tying, going camping, going and learning how to talk on the telephone, going shopping, things like that, pricing food. Scouting has, over the years, become more leadership-oriented, teaching boys to lead, to be good citizens, to lead. And they still learn a lot of the basic skills, the communication skills and things like that, but it's something that is more geared towards leadership. We don't spend as much time doing the basic knot tying, but we spend more time with communications. Boys learn to talk.
Okay, so generally what's the age group? What is the youngest and then the oldest in the organization?
Scouting provides a program from first grade all the way up to age 21. We have 3 programs. The Cub Scout program is 1st through 5th grade.
Okay.
Boy Scouts takes them as they complete the 5th grade or 11 years old and takes them all the way up to age 18. Co-ed, we have Venturing, which is our co-ed program.
Which you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's
offline.
ages 14 to 21. And so the different programs take them through the different stages all the way up through the age of 21.
Terrific. So talk about some of those programs. You, as Debbie mentioned off air, we were talking a little bit about venturing, and we learned a great deal about it. Share with folks, if you would, how venturing works. What is that program about? There's a co-ed component to it as well, as I understand.
Yeah, Venturing is a program that it's about 12 years old. It came out of the old Exploring program, which was also co-ed. That's gone under Learning for Life, which is more career-oriented. Venturing is more of a high adventure, and they usually pick a focus, and they may have a couple major activities. But instead of being kind of like the Boy Scouts or the Cub Scouts where you have patrols and patrol leaders, senior patrol leaders, it's more of a club environment where they select a president, they have vice presidents, they work together, and they do a lot of their own planning and fundraising. The adults are very hands-off in that program because they're 14 to 21. We're really now giving them the opportunity to use the skills that they've learned through Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Okay, similar, our Rotary Club has local aspects and international aspects to our club. I'm assuming that the Boy Scouting has the same. There's local local things that happen, but what about the international part of it?
Scouting is in pretty much every major free country. I think we're 132 countries right now,
Okay.
and it grows. Scouting started in 1908 in England. General Baden-Powell started the program when he came back from the Boer Wars and saw that kids needed something to do. Quickly moved from there to the United States and just has grown throughout the
And
world.
I imagine through the Great Depression and times of trial
Throughout
of
the
our
history
country.
of scouting, the Boy Scouts have helped with the war efforts in World War I, World War II, gathering, recycling materials, getting medals for the war effort. They've gone through and helped with different situations, national disasters, things like that.
Okay.
Good. So the Scouts are throughout the world, but let's talk about here locally. Talk about our local troop, Troop 92.
I'm in Troop 92. We've been serving the Milpitas community since 1957. We're the oldest troop in Milpitas and one of the oldest troops in our district. So we've got a lot of continuous activity. We meet over at Mount Olive Church, and Mount Olive sponsors a scouting program. We actually have the full program. We have a Cub Scout pack, a Boy Scout troop, and a venturing crew. We're the only venturing crew in Milpitas. There are several Boy Scout troops and Cub Scout packs in Milpitas, but we have the full program at Mount Olive. And Mount Olive is a very active sponsor.
Okay. Well, Patrick, give me an example of a local project or something that you would be doing in your troop here in Milpitas.
One of the projects that's coming up in the next couple weeks is Scouting for Food. And what you'll find on your doors here in Milpitas, you'll find a door hanger that says on a certain day the Boy Scouts are going to come by and grab food, so just put it out in a bag on your front porch.
Oh, okay.
We get thousands of pounds of food, and we take that over to the Milpitas Food Pantry.
In fact, we might have Ellen put that on the screen too.
Yeah.
Get that aired out.
We put that, we take that food over to the Milpitas Food Pantry. It stays right there and goes
Okay.
straight out to the Milpitas community.
Okay, so that type of food pantry work and
We're also doing a program right now that's more of a third world country. We're doing a program called Operation Christmas Child. The Scouts are putting together shoe boxes with little things in there,
our
toiletries,
church is
gifts,
doing
things
that
like that.
program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll go out to a third world country to
Okay.
kids that don't have a
Okay,
lot.
great.
So that's one of the things we're doing right now as well.
Great. So there's an active participation in supporting our local community that
Absolutely.
that you get kids involved in.
Our troop actually does the flag ceremony for the Milpitas City Council meetings. Has been doing it for years.
Terrific. So, you know, that's a great way for kids to become an integral part of their community and give back a little bit. You know, it's part of what makes Milpitas a great place to live.
It really is.
Yeah, terrific. So now, you know, one of the things that people in Boy Scouts, I think, aspire to is that rank of Eagle Scout.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is that
That's
so
about
special?
the only one I really understand.
Yeah, and really that's not our goal in scouting.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, we have our goals in scouting, which we call the aims of scouting, which are basically citizenship, character, and fitness. And then we have what we call...
Maybe that's where you fell
Yeah.
out on the. Excuse me. No, we'll keep that in. We'll keep that in.
we have a
Get on the cutting room floor.
We have a set of methods.
Don't worry, I'm right with you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
We have a set of methods that get us to those goals, and those methods are things like uniform, advancement, adult association, things like that. So uniform, we wear a uniform so that we're as a group. They have an opportunity to earn the rank. 1 out of about every 5 boys, 5 out of 100 boys who join scouting will make the rank of Eagle.
Okay, so it's a very
it's
select.
a very small group.
And I would imagine that as kids struggle right now to get into good colleges and there's so much competition, that being in the Boy Scouts and that organization would look great on their resume, or if they're an Eagle Scout, and that any leadership programs that they have, I would imagine that's a precursor to doing what they need to do.
It's a very important
I
part
can
of their
see
college
more
applications.
now than ever, even since
Yeah.
1908. I can see a need now for this program even more so. for the
There
youth.
really is.
Yeah, good. Well, maybe talk a little bit about some examples you see of that. You talk about this character development and the leadership development. Can you give some examples, perhaps, of how you've seen that, in play with our youth?
I just this summer, I had a scout telling me he was on a boating activity, or he was on a river activity. There was a girl that jumped in the water thinking she had more confidence than
boy.
she had skill.
Yeah.
She ended up floating down the river and was struggling. One of the boys jumped out of his boat, went over and rescued her. Never
Wow.
asked her name, never got any information. He doesn't qualify for an award because there's no information to follow up on. But we know that he did it. Here's a boy.
What an act of humility.
Yeah, he's 14, 15 years old. He jumps out of a boat to save somebody in need. He doesn't even ask her for her name. He's not looking for an award. He's looking to do something. We've got scouts, every one of our scouts they do service projects for their rank. Their service projects up at Ed Levin Park here. We have a lot of projects get done there every year where scouts will go in and work on trails and do things for the
Patrick,
community.
let me ask you, I'm assuming that you're in need for more community involvement, and we can make a plea here on this TV show too. What kind of needs do you need? What do you have that you need filled by community members, or are you in need of more leaders for troops?
We're always in need of leaders. Anyone who's willing to step up. Probably 1 out of every 20 boys has a parent that gets involved in the program.
Wow.
And so, we look for
It's a
those
pretty low
people.
ratio.
It really is. And the boys whose parents are involved in the program go further in the program. They're in it longer. They get more out of the program. And like I say, the goal isn't to get them to Eagle Scout. The goal is to build good citizens, active, participating citizens of good character and physical fitness.
Good. Well, what is it that keeps you active in Scouts?
What keeps
After
them-
36 years.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever done anything for 36 years.
Some of we get these little knots, little awards that we get on our shirts, and some people have them going all the way up. They look like generals. We say those are people who are in it for the awards in scouting. I'm in it for the reward. And the reward is what I see when I see a group of guys going to the Golden Gate Bridge for the first time, living in Milpitas 30, 40 miles away, and they're seeing it for the first time, or they go out camping. They've never been camping before. That's the reward. Helping a boy who is having trouble in school, but because scouting is interesting to him, he's going, and we're able to get him turned on to school just because we've got his attention. That's the rewards. And the friendships.
Yeah.
These guys build friendships. I've got kids that are in their 30s now who still come and see me as their chaplain from years ago.
That's nice.
Well, on behalf of the Milpitas community, thank you for the time and effort that you put in and the reward that is, and for you personally, but also for the kids and the families that are involved with scouting. It's a very worthwhile program. We appreciate you sharing
Yes.
with folks about what's happening today here in Milpitas with scouting, and hopefully folks will look you up if it's something that they're interested in.
Well, I appreciate you
And
guys
as
inviting me.
A special gift for being a guest on Valley Homes on TV. We have a T-shirt that's
All
got
right.
the little logo there, and you wore that in pride and remember today's
Right.
event, and we certainly thank you.
So before we close, if folks want more information about Troop 92 or Boy Scouts in general, where might they be able to find that?
Information for the Boy Scouts in general, they could call the Boy Scout Council office. The number is 408-280-5088, and they will get you in contact with a unit.
Okay.
If they're interested in our program at Mount Olive Church, they can contact Mount Olive. They'll put them in touch with me, or they can email me.
All right.
And my email address is patrick@bsachaplain.org.
Great. And I think the phone number at Mount Olive, 408-262-0506.
0506.
You
You
two
got
can
it.
give this is their church, and you're welcome to give a plug for your church. So it's a great church too.
It is.
So,
Terrific. Well, thanks a lot. Again,
thank you
Patrick.
very much for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I made a promise to my family that I would start taking better care of myself.
You have many reasons to stay healthy. Exercise and physical activity can help. So the National Institute on Aging at NIH, part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, created Go for Life.
I now exercise 3 times a week.
Featuring exercises you can do anywhere.
I can really go.
Find out more. Visit nia.nih.gov/go-for-life.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. You're watching Channel 26, where you can see us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Todd, that was awesome.
The segment that we just had?
With the Boy Scouts.
It was. They do great work here in town and across the world.
I always admire people that you can tell he's such a giver and, does things from his heart.
Well, I've known Patrick for years, and he's a guy who doesn't seek the limelight, who doesn't look for, attention or pats on the back. He just does it because he cares, and and gives to the kids who are involved in the program. So
that's neat.
Yeah, so it's good to hear about the activity they're up to.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we've had, oh my goodness. I can't even begin to tell you the exciting news in the real estate market. We were just talking, anybody that had a property that was underwater, that short sale, or a property that was depressed, or they bought it back in 05 or 06 or 07 at the peak of the market, and anybody that hung on to those are going to be fine, because we have just rallied up with a surge in the market. It's been unbelievable.
Well, I think you've got the numbers to demonstrate that.
I do. Let me tell you real briefly where we're at. Single-family homes today, 571,753 for an average price. I'm sorry, that was last year. That was in August of 2011. This year, August 2012, we're at $715,423. Can you believe that for an average price?
Incredible. That's quite an increase.
Median price a year ago was $550,000, and it's now at $605,000. So we're really, I talked about at the beginning of the year, I thought we had about a $50,000 bump. So at least that, if not more. I just had a property I was sharing with you last weekend, had open, 2-day open house, over 110 folks looking through the home, 5 offers, and it went for $43,000 over the list price.
Well, and that seems to be the case for just about any property that comes on the market that's in decent shape, that's priced properly. And
single-family detached. Remember we talked about we're still building new homes here in Milpitas, but they're mainly all attached units. Let me look a peek at what the multifamily, the condo market is doing. The average price in August 2011 was $266,742. But I can tell you that's bumped up to last August 2012. We're up to $363,884. Even that's been a tremendous increase. Median price was $225,000 a year ago. Median price now is $355,000. So talk about economic recovery of the housing market.
Well, and so people are seeing the opportunity. Interest rates are low, right? And so it's relatively affordable. But also, the demand is outstripping the supply.
Now, when you're pre-qualifying your buyers and you're looking at where they're at, are you showing where it makes more sense right now, the mortgage payment versus the rent payment?
Absolutely, and particularly as we take a look at the tax incentive that's there for folks. When you take a look at the tax deduction for mortgage interest and property taxes, and what the effective rate or effective amount of their housing cost is when you take the tax advantage into it, in a lot of cases people are able to get into housing at about the same cost as what renting is for them today.
Okay.
And so it's about across the board straight in terms of cash flow sort of arrangement for them. But then,
and we've talked about that in the past as being housing affordability index.
Exactly.
So I'm assuming that housing affordability index is very low right now.
It is. I mean, it's one of the most affordable times that we've seen here in the Bay Area in a long time. And if you are renting, you know that there's pressure on rents to go up. They have been going up, and they continue to
We've
be on the
seen
increase.
spikes of like 10, 15% over the last few years.
We
a
certainly
year over
have.
year.
We certainly have. And so it's a great time to look at those economics of how does that impact your particular situation? How does it help you out tax-wise? You know, and then also, yeah, you need a place to live, and you know, every time you security,
a place to put your children in a home, in a home, in a neighborhood school, and
Right.
you know you can educate them there. And
right. And every time you make a mortgage payment, a part of that is going to building equity in that property for you as well, as opposed to going into your landlord's pocket. So
yeah, I'm sold. I've been sold on real estate for a long time. You don't have to sell me, but I totally agree. And I think folks need to hear that again. They need to hear it's okay to own a piece of the rock. It's okay to, you know, to get involved in home ownership, and it's part of the American fabric.
well, that's one of the things that I enjoy doing. That makes my job fun is to sit down with people and help them to explore how does that become reality, and how do those numbers really work in their situation, and is it something that's feasible for them?
So are the banks getting more stringent, less stringent? What do you see happening?
Yes and yes.
I know you're working harder. We're all working harder in our industries, but
Well, the level of scrutiny that every loan goes through is pretty significant. You know, the banks, particularly with the foreclosure wave and the problems that we had here, you know, they want to make certain that they're putting people into loans that are going to be successful in those loans. And so they're doing their due diligence. You know, all the paperwork has to be in order. You know, the degree to which that needs to happen, though, is very significant. All the I's dotted and T's crossed, and so it's very meticulous. And so working with somebody who's experienced with that, knows how to anticipate what's going to be asked from the underwriters and to help you through that process and understand it is important. But you being organized and being able to quickly be able to respond and get back in the documentation is critical as well.
what's a typical timeline right now for processing a loan?
You know, it really depends upon the lender. I have sources I can go to and I get through in 3 weeks on a purchase, but sometimes it's as many as 45 days,
Okay.
Dependent upon how backed up that lender is. And so the real answer is it depends, anywhere from 21 to 45 days.
Another phenomenon that I'm seeing occurring in our end of the real estate is those that have been trying to sell in the past, they're jumping back in. It says if you've gotten on, homeowners who got burned the first time they put their homes on the market are taking another leap of faith. So we're having a resurgence of those homes coming on, and the move-up buyer, a family that owns that little 3-bedroom, 2-bath home and it's busting at the seams and they need something larger. They're than keeping that as a rental or they're moving that upward. And then I guess you've answered it, stringent and contingent.
Yes.
Buyer's market, contingency clauses, and that what it means to get that loan contingency, and I think you've already answered that. But real estate's been in the forefront. It's in, everybody's talking about it, the recovery's here, and really, we're looking for some interesting and times.
Well, I think the real estate in this recovery is going to have to be a leading indicator, right? And so I think California, we're always either on the front end of that as we're going up, or as we're going down as well. So we see a little bit more volatility here.
Okay.
But I think that we're starting to show the way that real estate is coming back, and in other parts of the country, we're starting to see that as well.
Okay, real quick, tell the folks, what are interest rates right now?
Goodness, we're about 3.5% on a 30-year fixed conforming loan, still in the high threes on a conforming jumbo up to 625, 500, and jumbo money's available as well. You're going to be in the low fours on that.
Nice.
And so, again, it's going to depend upon your particular situation, your credit history, the amount of equity that you have in the property, all those.
Which we're hoping the appraisals
yes.
are coming up. I've not had any appraisal challenges lately.
The
appraisals are starting to come in.
They are.
So that's encouraging for folks.
Well, and that's because the data there is now with
the data's now there.
With closed sales supporting the escalating prices. So
right. We're good.
But
so folks that have looked at it before should. And failed, take another second look at it.
Absolutely, and everybody's situation is unique, and so again, it's important, to do your research, but to sit down with a professional and really review your situation so you know exactly what it is you can do.
Great. Questions for folks if they want to contact you?
Yeah, sure. Shoot me an email, Todd, Todd, at sternmortgage.com, or pick up the phone, 408-921-0669. And I welcome your questions, questions about the show,
Yep.
real estate in general.
You can contact me at Giordano, GIORDANODJ, at AOL.com. And we're in October.
Yeah.
Halloween's right around the corner, and then Turkey Day. So we're toward the end of the season, Todd.
We are, yeah, we are. But we always appreciate hearing from folks as well who tune in. If you have an idea for a show that you like to see, or someone you think we ought to be talking to who's interesting here in town, we'd love to hear those ideas and be able to bring that to you.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for watching Valley Homes on TV.